been set free. Who's that there, Ziff? Oh, the old guy. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Fun Friday. A little tongue-tied here. Yes, it's just the guy that has this elderly gentleman who has this older dog that has these really bushy eyebrows, absolutely adorable on him. And for some reason, his dog likes to cut across the corner of our side and then walk around the edge, gets right up close to my car on the driver's side, and then walks around. And you're not supposed to be on other people's sites, but it doesn't bother them at all. Until I say something, nothing's going to happen. It's the track his dog takes. He will tell you that. There is a slack leash between them, and the dog goes where the dog wants to go, basically. Anyway, we're on Fun Friday. Yoo-hoo! It's time to, I was going to crack open the fun tin today, but then I thought I still have my international dinner to do from last week. And last night I finally got the air fryer out of its boxes, everything unpacked. I just have to wash all the bits that came with, like the trays and the basket thingy and the rotisserie thing, and then wipe out the inside of the air fryer and do a test run. I think it's what it's called in the manual, wherever I put the manual. And then I'll be able to use it. So at some point, either today or tomorrow, I will actually be cooking. And that must be from my hat. I was just going, why do I have a line across the top of my forehead that's so straight? Must be from my sun hat. I actually have a sun hat that's got a full brim on it, which is nice in the morning because it keeps it off the sun off my head. And on the inside, it's got a net liner, which means that the outside of the hat is not hard up against your head, which is nice. Allows for that air circulation thing. It's got vented, but at the back of the sun hat is a hole where you can pull your hair through. I'm like, yes. And it keeps the hair off the back of the neck. Oh, it works brilliantly. But I guess it gives me a line across my forehead as well by the looks of it. Anyway, Fun Friday. So I'm either today or tomorrow I'll actually be cooking in it that I can eat out of it. So I'm kind of excited about that. I have some stuff in the freezer that I can want to try, because what was I going after? There was something I was going to get and they didn't have it, and I had them substitute it for something else, which I thought was the same thing, just a different brand. Turned out completely wrong. It's some frozen food thing, that's some Brazilian cheese thing, and there's all these little nugget thingies inside the bag. What am I going to have with those? And but now I can go put them in the air fryer and see how they turn out. So that'll be something fun to try. So that could be my international, because it's Brazilian, whatever they are. I know it's not an excuse. I actually got to cook something international, and I am looking forward to doing that. I got to put a grocery list in today, so I guess I better figure out what I want to cook in the air fryer. So what fun things are you doing this weekend? Let us know in the comments below. You see that question there in the description. So I'm not going to pull out the fun tin this week because I have got a lot of stuff coming up over the next week. Because of last week when I was doing the genealogy class, then Saturday, Sunday, I was doing a super productivity achiever class, which was incredible. It was the first time these guys had done this class, and I was like, if this is the first time, oh my gosh, what the hell are they going to tweak? I'm sure they're going to make some changes that they feel need to be made or whatever, but that was, for a first time on that subject for that particular workshop, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And it fits in with everything that I've got to do. And I was talking with my accountability coach on Wednesday, and we came up with a plan for that. And then I've got another couple of people that I'm kind of working with as well. And I have my genealogy research to do for a client, which I'm looking forward to getting back into. Yay! I haven't had the chance so far this week, so I've been playing catch up on everything, which is basically today I should get caught up on everything today. Fingers crossed. But anyway, so on Tell Your Story. So remember, we're telling our story every day. I'm going to give you a question of the day. It's going to be yours. Tell your story question of the day. And today's question, so we've had questions every day this week. So how's your journaling going on remembering those things, recording it in some way, whether it's voice recording, video recording, writing it down, voice to text. I don't care. Just get it recorded somehow so that you can preserve it for generations to come. And so we've had 5 questions so far this week. If you want to know what the questions are, you're going to have to go back to part 1 of each day of this week, starting on day 7:33. So 7:33, you got asked your first question, and there's been one asked every morning since then. So if you want to know what the questions are, you're going to have to go back to day 7:33, 7:34, 7:35, 7:36, and then today being 7:37. And our question for today is, I love this question. As a kid, where did you go with your family for vacations? And what was your favorite vacation? Think about that. I got so many memories. As a kid, so as a kid, where did you and your family go for vacations, and what was your favorite vacation? Double barreling the questions. I've got a lot of questions to help prompt, a lot of prompts here to help you, and I've got this document up on my screen with all these questions that we've typed up and come up with over time, and we keep adding to the list. So it's somewhere near 100 right now. I think we're at 98, 99, somewhere around there, almost at 100. And we keep adding to them, and it's just, I think it might be, that's a point. Hang on, I have to make a note of that. Oh, that would be a good one. Oh, sorry, brain's just gone. Okay, just came up with a brilliant idea. I've got to go research it now. And I don't have time to go do that this morning or today. So that's going to be something I have to do over the weekend. So our favorite, we did a lot of traveling together as a family when I was growing up. You've heard me say that I've lived all over New Zealand, basically. People ask me, where in New Zealand are you from? I go, all over. They're like, what does that mean? I said, well, this is where I was born, and then I went to there, then there, then there, then there, and up there, and then all the way down there, and then back up to this part, and over to this bit, and up to that bit, and and it's like, ooh, okay. But the cool part about living in so many different places, oh gosh, here we go again. Look at this. I had 15 calls from this area code yesterday, robocalls, 15. And they're starting again. So area code 347. The area code's always 347, and there's a completely different number. They never leave any voicemail, so I don't return the calls. Unless they leave voicemail, I ain't calling back. Or I'll listen to what they have to say and then decide whether or not I'll call them back. Let's see how many I get today. I got 15 yesterday. Was it 15? 14? Might have been 14. I think it was 14. Oh, anyway, it was a ridiculous amount for a short period of time. Started around this time yesterday and went through to like around 3 o'clock-ish. 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere around there. Anyway, so what are we doing? Vacations. That's right, vacations as a family. So our vacations used to be that our parents would either pile us in the car and we'll go stay at hotels, at motels. There's a difference between a hotel and a motel. So what's the difference? That's a very good question. A hotel has all internal access to the rooms. And think of like your Marriott's and your Ritz-Carltons and the Sheratons, and that was not the voicemail message thing. It was a text message coming through. It's like, jeepers, people. They know I don't start in the office until 9. Crazy. And then a motel is all external access to the rooms. And in New Zealand, we don't have a lot of chains in New Zealand for motels. They are usually mom and pop owned, privately owned. They may be part of a consortium where you get a rating through a particular agency and you're listed on that. Like think of the automobile associations, they have their different ratings and stuff, and you can get listed in their books, in their guides and things. Then there's other ones. What's the one in New Zealand right now? I can see their symbol in my head, but I can't think of their name. I think it's like Quality or something like that. But they used to have like different Jason's. Jason's was one of them, where you could get their books similar to the automobile, to the AAA, where it has the Diamond Star ratings in there. And they had their own quality set of controls, but that was how you found out about these people. They were part of this chain, and you could get the little reward cards and all that sort of stuff. If you were a member of whatever these things were in these hotels, motels would be members. So times we would stay in motels, and then there's times we'd put the caravan on the back of the car and go tootling along. And you go, the caravan? Yeah, think of like an Airstream, a tow trailer camper. I think that's what, yeah, tow trailer campers. Yeah, like an Airstream. You know, where you've got the camper piece, it's on wheels, and at the front is the little triangular shaped tow bar thing, and the gas cylinder would sit on the top of that tow bar, and then the tow bar would hook to the front of your car, the back of your car, or the tow ball, and you'd tow it off. Well, we had our last one that we had was 18 feet. 18 feet. There was 5 of us. There was no bathroom facilities in the thing at all. It was, you'd walk in the door, there'd be a couch that went the width of the caravan, but it would pull out and make a full-size bed, I think it was, full-size or queen-size bed, because the 2 squabs would lay flat. Kitchen was just a counter with a gas cooktop, no oven, just the cooktop. And then it had the sink, and the sink had kind of like a pump handle on it. And underneath the sink would be this big white plastic bottle thing that us kids would have to take over to the tap, fill it up, and then we'd literally have to drag this thing back and put it back under the sink, put the hose back in it, screw it back, and you had 2 ends to it. And then you'd use the pump thing to get the water out. But we only use that for drinking and cooking that water. If we needed to clean the dishes, you guys are going to love this. So in New Zealand, in the campgrounds, they have what's called the ablution block. And there would be the toilets and showers, male and female toilets and showers would be there. There'd be a laundry room in there. There'd be a kitchen in there. And you'd go in the kitchen, and there would be full stoves. So you'd have the cooktops with the ovens. There would be stainless steel benches everywhere, prep area and all of that. So you could actually go over there, prep your meal and everything else. But for us kids, we got handed a basin with all the dirty dishes in it, some detergent squirted over the top of it all, and we'd walk over there, we'd put the basin in the sink, and we would wash the dishes and then dry out the basin, put everything back in the basin, and that was our chores in the evening. So, yes, it wasn't always friendly sibling things. Sometimes there was little battles and stuff and arguments and that sort of thing. You know, kid stuff. But we had great trips, and then we had 2 of these long, like almost like twin beds down the end that were on either side, and in between was a dresser with a table that folded up onto it, and you would pull the table out and sit either side of it. And we also had an awning that was basically a 3-sided tent that attached to the caravan, and the caravan was the 4th wall, and it was all canvas. And then you had the zipper doors, you had tent poles, guy ropes, holding it all up and everything else. And that's where us kids would typically sleep out there, while Mum and Dad had the inside of the caravan. And then there was a few times, not many that I recall, but there were a few times where the 5 of us would actually sleep inside because we didn't have the awning up for whatever reason. And so I would sleep in one of the single beds. My older of my 2 younger brothers would sleep on the other single bed, and my baby brother would be on the floor between us on a mattress of some sort. So we had a lot of fun in those caravans, a lot of places. We traveled a lot. The one gift that our parents gave us was the gift of travel. And they always told us, we will pay to show you your country. If you want to go overseas, you have to pay your own way. And I thought, that's pretty fair. It's pretty fair. And we had a lot of great adventures together as a family. And there were times we'd meet up with other family members at a campground and spend a few days camping with them. Or would meet up with friends. There were times it was just the 5 of us, but we would always have a blast. There were times that we would go camping on our way up to spend time with family, like we go visit the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, that sort of stuff. Had a lot of fun with that. We'd go out and visit my great aunt and uncle on their farm and meet up with their kids, with their grandkids who were our age, because their kids were all pretty much around my mum and dad's age, either younger or older. But we had a blast. And we got to see a lot of New Zealand. And the great gift that my parents gave us was that they taught us how to be a traveler within our own country. Yes, we got to see the touristy stuff, but they taught us how to be a traveler, how to get off the beaten path and away from all the tourist stuff and get to know the culture of our country, which I think is like the best gift. One of the best gifts they ever gave us was the gift of travel. There's a lot of stuff that parents will pass on to their kids, but the gift of travel was one of the best ones that I think that they gave us. There's a lot of good other stuff that they gave us, but that travel one, absolutely love it. My favorite places to travel, a vacation. That's a hard question for me to answer because we had so many great adventures. Although there was a little campground, and I'm trying to remember if it was outside of Rotorua. It's between Taupo and Rotorua. There was this campground, and they had this area that was surrounded by hedges. You go in there, and there was like 3 or 4 trampolines that were set into the ground. So you're sitting on ground. So the trampolines were at ground level, and then the pits were underneath the trampolines. And we spent hours at that. If we were at the campground for the day, like staying at the campground, that's where you would find us kids. We would be on those trampolines for hours. And then, of course, we'd have to walk all the way back to the caravans and stuff for meals and that sort of thing. But if we were in the campground and you couldn't find us kids, just go down to where the trampolines were. You would find us there 9 times out of 10, that's where we would be. We'd be there for hours. And you meet other kids down there as well. And you have those vacation friends. And it was a lot of fun. But I enjoyed getting to know my country as a traveler. So learning all the off the beaten path secrets about the country, how to respect different cultures. That was the best. That was the best one. Although another one of my favorite. God, I got so many favorites. That's the hard part when you live in somewhere like New Zealand. You have so many favorite places to go. But I want to know what your favorite places are. What are some of the favorite vacations that you used to have as well? I just suddenly thought of Tolaga Bay, and they have this long, I think it's like one of the longest wooden piers in the world or the Southern Hemisphere or something. But it was this wooden pier, and we'd go out there and go fishing off the end of it. That was a great trip. And then they took us into the town of Tolaga Bay one time, and the fire alarm went, and the fire sirens went off. And we're in a store. I want to say it was a bookstore. And the guy says, "Oh, you got to come out and watch this." And I'm like, "What?" And we go out, and this like 1930. It's like a 1930s fire truck or something goes rolling down the street, and some guys come out and jump on the side of it. Then this pickup truck comes down, and more people hop on. And then it looked like a milk tanker would come out. And a milk tanker in New Zealand looks like a gas tanker. That those ones with the big cylinders on the back that carry all the liquid. And that was the water supply for the fire truck. But this was the thing, and it was a volunteer fire department, and all the volunteers would come out, get on the pickup trucks or the fire truck, off they would race, and then the tanker would come up behind, and the tanker had all of the water, would supply the water for the fire truck. It was, and this was back in the early 80s. Yeah, back in the early 80s. So late 70s, early 80s. I'm trying to remember where we were living at the time. Usually I can do it because I can remember where we were living at the time, and then I can put you in the time zone. But I want to say it was early 80s. But it was a lot of fun. That was a really unusual thing to see. So, but anyway, I got to go. I'm out of here. I've talked for way too long again. But let us know, what is, start writing. Are you writing your story? You should be writing your story. I'm going to harp at this for the rest of the year, at least. Maybe beyond as well. Anyway, go ahead. But I always have fun questions for you. Fun things. But go have a super fantastic, sparkling, fun Friday, and we will catch you guys back here tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hei konara.